Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, guys. My name is Yaqut Zaman. Hope you guys are having fantastic day, enjoying yourselves on this nice Saturday. All right. So, as you can see in the background, books are missing. Doing a bit of reshuffling of the books. So, I'm going to try to get some more books in this room, inshallah, because the number of books are increasing, as naturally it would increase. Yeah, so hopefully, inshallah, I'll get some more books. Maybe put some over there on the side, as you can see, over there and over here. There. So you have it there. Hopefully, inshallah, maybe do something with that. Just looking into options now where I can put some books. Otherwise, you can see the two plants. You can see the lampshade over there. Lampshade actually been off. The reason I don't put it on in the live streams anymore is because if I actually put the lampshade on, the color tone in the image will actually change quite a lot, and I don't want to have to keep adjusting that tone. So yeah, so that's basically that, and that's the Saturday, guys. Spooky Inferno, ahlan wa sahlan wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Kay Zainab, ahlan wa sahlan wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shayma, ahlan wa sahlan wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you? I'm very well, thank you very much. I'm very well, thank you, and enjoying my time on Saturdays as usual. Chill out day today. Did a bit of cycling today as well. But yeah, tomorrow is a proper cycling. Today was just a bit of a warm up, getting my legs stretched, muscles, getting used to a long ride. So I've got a new bike, inshallah. I'm going to be riding my new bike tomorrow for the first long ride in a while. So inshallah. And make dua for Abdul Majid as well. So Majid, he's not well. He's been ill for actually like nearly the whole week. So most likely he's got COVID. So make dua for him, inshallah. I aspire to have a library like that, inshallah, one day. Inshallah, hopefully have a better library than I don't have too many books. I know some people, some like graduates have loads of books. First of all, books take up loads of space, and then it's books cost a lot as well. So now you can get a lot of books online. So I think if you can get that, if you can get the real books, that's better. But online ones are also good as well, inshallah. Anyway, right. So welcome, Adil K. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, ahlan wa sahlan. Blueberry 28. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. Me, assalamu alaikum. Thoughts on Andrew to accepting Islam? Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. May Allah make him firm on his faith, strong for the Muslims, inshallah. So, anyone who accepts Islam, we always make this dua for them that Allah makes them firm on their faith and makes them, instrumental for the Muslim Ummah. And the Prophet ﷺ, in his time, he wanted Abu Jahl. There's two people he really wanted to become Muslim. He wanted Abu Jahl to become Muslim, and he wanted Umar radiallahu to become Muslim. And you know how much damage Abu Jahl had caused for the Muslims anyway. But still, he wanted him to become Muslim. Allah accepted the dua for Umar radiallahu, even though Umar radiallahu was also potentially someone who was going to cause a lot of damage for the Muslims. But, subhanAllah, how Allah guided him. Okay, Zainab, is it okay to have a Bitmoji? It's like creating a picture. Yeah, I wouldn't see any problem with it. I wouldn't see any issue. It's a small image, isn't it? That just appears on the screen. Okay, thoughts, Andrew. Okay, Blueberry, what's your bookshelf empty? So basically, I'm just reshuffling the books, getting the books sorted out, putting some more bookshelves in, inshallah, or maybe new storage for the books as well. Hopefully, I'm just thinking how I'm gonna set this up. I can actually have the whole of this back area just full of books. Yes, get some more shelves, put them in the middle, and just have a background just full. But I think having a background just books, I think doesn't look nice. There needs to be something else in between, like lights and yeah. So this is the thing I have to think about how I'm going to do for you guys as well. Yeah. So I mean, ideally, I want a bigger room. I need a bigger room for my media, so I can have idea is in one part of the room I can have those videos that I make, which are overhead shots, overhead shot videos from one side of the room, and then one side of the room having these kind of videos, and then one side of the room just having this normal sort of like other teaching side. So I'm thinking, maybe in the future, if I get another place, maybe because I don't have any room in my house. If I get another place, hopefully, inshallah, I'm gonna try to get one with a bigger room for the media room, and then I can use that, inshallah. Right. Can you bring Andrew Tate? Allah Akbar. I don't think so. I don't think he probably has time for that. Reorganizing, yes. Muhammad wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think Muhammad Hijab brought him on, didn't he? I saw a clip going around of Muhammad Hijab with him on. So I didn't watch it all, but alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, Muhammad. Ahlan wa sahlan. Your books have gone. Have you finally understood Ibn Asian's quotes? Dr. Zaman, PhD. That's it. That's it. Your quote. Got rid of all my books. Just thought, you know what? I got no ilm, bro. I got no ilm. Literally, I've got no ilm. There's no ilm in the background now. Empty shelves. I think that's the new trend now. Just have empty shelves in the background and just show people that, look, there's no ilm here, guys. It's just bare ilm. Ibn Sina's quote, yeah. Inshallah, I watched that. Really good. Yeah. So I mean, everyone should pray that everyone becomes a Muslim. That's the idea. Everyone recognizes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and becomes firm on their faith. Even in the time of the Sahaba, there were people who accepted Islam, but then they rejected faith. Yeah, they left Islam. Yeah, and that's unfortunately happened. Yeah, there were munafiqs and there were other people as well. But that's the thing. So we just leave it to Allah, and we have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives brother Andrew Tate strength in his iman, becomes an asset for the Muslim ummah as well. And hopefully, inshallah. I know there's a lot of Muslims who are really angry. I don't know why they're angry for. They're angry that he's becoming Muslim, but that's the hidayat of Allah. Allah guides who He wants, not who we want. Allah guides who He wants. Wa alaikum assalam, real drama, ahla wa sahlan. I sometimes see random people and then just say, MashaAllah, make them Muslims. May Allah make them Muslims. You never know the power of your du'as. Exactly. You never know who is going to accept Islam and who's going to have, the ability to be able to influence. So many celebrities have so much potential to influence the world if they become Muslim. We just don't know. Did you watch the podcast? No, I didn't. Zob, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. When would one use ba to mean in instead of fi? So, like, you might want to use it when you're at a location. So when you're at a location, you might say bi. Like, صليت مع زيد تكلمت مع زيد بالمسجد. You might say that. Be with the meaning of inda. Yeah, so it's basically like location. Fi. كان هذا بالمدينة. Yeah, this occurred in Medina. بالمدينة. Yeah, so today was a nice day today. Weather was very, very strangely good. It was nice and warm. I don't know what happened to the weather. Hopefully tomorrow the weather's going to be somewhat good as well, inshallah. And we're going to have a nice week, inshallah. And I've got this new tea. This is some new tea one of my students gave me. I forgot what the flavor is. It's rooibos tea plus something else. I forgot what it was now. I have to check. It smells really nice and tastes very good as well. I'll have to find out what it is and then let you guys know. Normally they have it written on the label, but this one doesn't seem to have it written on the label. Sheikh, I bought the basic iPad you recommend. Turns out it's quite useful. Bought a Logitech pen also. Oh, you got a Logitech one, yeah? Yeah, I heard about that. Is it a crayon? Logitech crayon. Yeah, it's quite big, isn't it? How do you find it? How do you find using it? I mean, my one, I use the normal Apple pen on there, and it's very good, very nice. The response is very sort of like fast. so there's hardly any lag in there. Yeah, I find it very useful. There's actually like artists have specially like designed these tablets that are designed for art. I was gonna think of getting one of those because when I write, you need your like the palm of your hand to rest against something if you want to write nicely. For me anyway. So I was looking into one of those, but they were too expensive, and plus they used to make too much noise. That was the problem. They used to make too much noise because they got fans in the back. So I don't know. I mean, maybe the new ones that have come out, maybe there's really good ones, quiet ones. What do you think about Germany? I don't know. I don't really have time to think about Germany. If there's anything specific about Germany, but it's a country. Meaning old and damaged pages of the Quran or Quran that's not fully intact. Meaning old and damaged pages of the Quran. I don't understand your question, my brother. Very good grip. Not as clunky as I thought it would be. I use it for writing and read. The Apple Pen is more for sketching due to pressure built into it for notes. Ah, I see. Yeah, suits your purpose. Yeah, yeah. Whatever rocks your boat, bro. Whatever rocks your boat. Yeah, use it for a few weeks and then let me know what you think of it. Are you going to move away from paper? Is that you can actually get this kind of cover, this screen sort of not protection, but it's a small little sticky sort of layer that you can put onto it, and it actually is supposed to make people feel like paper. I think it's called like paper or something. Yeah, there's one brand called Paper, and I was gonna get that. It makes it. The good thing is it makes it matte, so it doesn't shine. And then when you write, it's supposed to mimic paper as well. So I've seen mixed views about it. Most views are saying that it's good. It's good to get because it has that feeling. If no thawab is gained for wearing a taqi or thobe, then what is the purpose of wearing one? Yeah, I mean, there isn't anything. That's it. That's the whole argument, isn't it? That people have that. Why should people wear it for? So Arabs wear it because it's their local dress. It's their local custom dress. Like Pakistanis wear shalwar kameez, or Bangladeshis wear a certain type of attire they have. Indians wear a certain attire. So it's just one of those cultural kind of clothes, cultural dresses. Sulaiman, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to thank you for your videos. I was really struggling to read Quran. Thanks to you, I got better. I hope every day I read the Quran. You two are getting reward. Alhamdulillah, my brother Sulaiman, mashallah. This news of yours has made my heart happy. Alhamdulillah. I love listening to the feedback I get when people, for the first time can read Quran because of my videos. Alhamdulillah. May Allah accept it from all of us, and may Allah make these videos a means of helping the ummah. Uthman Ahmed Salam, do As-Sufa enroll students for any year? Yes, but there's tests, so they usually have an assessment, and if you pass that assessment, then they can put you into the appropriate year. Can you explain the difference between ma and madha? I thought madha is just always used before a verb, but often I see there's no specific like difference between ma and madha of where it's used. The only difference is a balagha difference in the meaning. So that is actually is like ism ishara. Yeah. So ma katabta. Ma katabta. What did you write? Madha katabta. That's like emphasizing it. Madha. What's this that you've written? What's this you've written? So it's just more like an emphatic. Billy, go to alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Are we allowed to kiss the Quran Musaf cover? I have seen found. Yes, it's permissible. It's fine. I read the first pages of the Quran and found it pretty out of time, so I stopped. Okay, that's fine. I think you're going to be a person who's going to cause problems for us, so maybe I might have to just block you. Using it for over 5 weeks, would recommend if you want to use it for notes and just scrolling stuff. I download PDF books and make notes next to it. Excellent, excellent. And how does it come out? Does it like, are you able to be quite accurate in how you annotate? Is it permissible for men to shave, wax their arms and legs? Yes. If so, why is this not seen as imitating women, but wearing necklace is? Well, because wearing a necklace would be seen as something in the public, isn't it? So it's like how you present yourself, how you show yourself. But shaving and waxing, people can't really tell the difference between shaving and waxing if you just see someone. Yeah, so it's more to do with how you present yourself. So you can't present yourself as a woman. That's the idea. Women go toilet, men go toilet, right? So there's no difference in that. So the functional things that we do, there's no difference. It's just the way that you present yourself. Zob, can we not argue that there is a benefit in wearing taqiyya though, because in our times people are recognized as Muslims by those dresses? I mean, I don't see why a person needs to be recognized as a Muslim in that sense. Like, what's the reason you have to be recognized as a Muslim? But I mean, if you are living in a society where Muslims are being abused and you want to recognize as a Muslim, maybe it's fine. But in the past, the thing you see in the past, the people they had like certain attire. They used to wear clothing, and it wasn't necessarily seen as a Muslim clothing. It was just normal clothing that people wore. Yeah, obviously there were certain things that the Prophet ﷺ encouraged the Sahaba to do, not to imitate like another religion. Khaliful mushrikeen, the Prophet said, go against the mushriks and keep a beard. So yeah, but you never find like in hadith where people would say, "Oh, wear like a Muslim uniform." You don't find that because it was just a normal clothing that people wore. If one is invited to a birthday party, is he allowed to go? Yes, as long as there's no like anything haram going on there. Yeah, anything which is contrary to Sharia. Okay, Instagram. Ahlan wa sahlan. Yahya, what is the best way to get close to your teachers? I mean, I would say the best way to get close to your teacher is to prove to your teacher that you have learned their work. Honestly, if my students came to me and said to me, "Look, I've learned your work and this is what I've understood," and this, that would make me happier than anything else, right? That's generally what I would say is the best thing to get close to your teacher, right? Because your teacher has put so much effort into teaching you. When he sees that you've put the effort into learning his work, the teacher becomes happy naturally. Now, I definitely become happy. That's why I would generally give my time to my students who work very hard. I know students who work very hard. I would happily give time to them. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, giving gifts and things is good, but I don't see as being like something which necessarily every teacher would get happy. I mean, it's good. Obviously, naturally, people are happy with gifts. Without a doubt, I'm not saying don't give me a gift, get me a gift. But I'm saying that the main thing that I would get happy at would be, yeah, learning the work. All right, next. Someone in the masjid approached my family member and said kissing Quran cover is bid'ah. Yeah, I think it's probably some strict Salafi kind of guy. I think they don't like that kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's not. It's fine. You can kiss. If it's actually reported from Uthman radiallahu anhu that he was known for kissing the Quran. If an uncle's mail came to your house, is it haram to open it or it's opened now? Is it haram to look? The thing is, like, if something is private, a conversation between two people, the Sharia has prohibited someone to eavesdrop. So if this comes under something eavesdropping, then yes, it would not be allowed. My friend once told me in high school, the more hair you have, the more of a man you are. I remember telling him if that was the case, I'd be a rainforest. Do you think Allah has made undertake Muslims so we can be confident about being Muslim? So people say that. Don't know. Maybe. We're only going to find out. Obviously, look, Abdullah bin Masud radiallahu anhu said this. He said, do not put your trust in anyone that's alive. Do not put trust of your faith in anyone that's alive. If you are going to put your trust in someone, he said, put it in those who have passed away. Right? Because now, once they passed away, there's no fear of them causing a fitna for people. So the problem we have in our community, it's like we're like those kind of kids who are trying to find attention. Right? This unfortunately is a bad example, but we're like those kind of children who don't get attention from their parents, and they're trying to get attention from other people, other places. So we're always trying to find someone out there who is kind of like going to give us like some boost or something that we can be proud of. We're always looking for that, and we've got so many in the past. Sahaba radiallahu anhu, the Prophet sallallahu, of course, Sahaba, and then such amazing Ummah, Salahuddin Ayyubi, and others that we have. This is why, I mean, it's very important for all of us to understand, if whatever Allah has planned for Andrew Tate, him accepting Islam, whether it's going to be something that he's going to die with the faith or whether he's going to leave the faith, na'udhu billah, we pray that Allah, he doesn't. But this is something that we have to understand. We have to understand that we don't put our trust in any celebrity out there or any scholar out there. We learn from the scholars that we trust in, we live our life, alhamdulillah, and that's it. But I mean, I think nowadays it's like when it comes to scholars, it's like football matches. It's like people think you have to support a football match. You have to support a scholar. You have to kind of put all your faith in that scholar. You have to, and I think that is the wrong thing to do. That is actually putting yourself at risk, because if tomorrow that scholar turns out to do something really bad, or even na'udhu billah, leave Islam, right? That's going to have a impact on our faith, right? So just do not support. Don't become like a blind fan of a fanboy of a scholar. That's what I would say. Any celebrity for that matter. Can one have a birthday cake with candles? I wouldn't see a problem with that, because I don't see the candles as being something which is religiously motivated. Just something which is just a cultural thing now. Haydar Ali wa alaikum assalam. If a person has a rash or an itchy skin and causes to bleed frequently, do you have to change your clothes every time blood gets onto that more than 50p? If the bleeding is such that it's a ma'dhur, that it's continuously coming out and it's the blood is flowing, if it's flowing and he's a ma'dhur, then it's fine. It won't affect it. But if he's not a ma'dhur and it's flowing, then he'd have to clean it. And if it's not flowing and it's just in the wound and it's just touching the clothes and transferring, then it's fine. One second, let me just, this background, I just want this lighting, just need to adjust the, give me a second, guys. How do I do this? The flickering stopped. It's become worse. Okay, anyway, I don't know how that flickering is going to disappear. Can't get rid of it fully. Right, so anyway, Yahya is asking on Instagram, is there benefit to go into Jarh, Ta'dil and Usul Hadith nowadays when your criticism will likely not be accepted and we've got a vast tradition already? Yes, it's very important to learn Jarh and Ta'dil, even though your Jarh and Ta'dil might not have any weight at all. But you're learning whether the scholars have made a mistake or not. So this is why it's very important to learn Jarh and Ta'dil, because you're not learning it to implement Jarh and Ta'dil, you're actually learning it to be able to understand how the Jarh and Ta'dil works, and if someone has like diverged away from the method of Jarh and Ta'dil. That's basically it. Sorry guys, this is just anyway, I don't think that's going to change. All right, so all right, let's see this one. Is it haram to draw faces of living things, keep illustrations? I would avoid it. I would avoid this, definitely. I mean, there's ikhtilaf among scholars about this. I talked about this yesterday, but I would avoid it. I think those is like having musalla, just like it's this quick way to make sure the place you pray on is free from najasa. thobe makes sure no asda is exposed and the clothing isn't tight. Yeah, maybe that's a good point. Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe they serve a practical purpose, hence why people choose to wear them. Yeah. Could you explain what is meant by fuqaha approach and muhaddith approach to usul hadith? I've actually mentioned it in those usul videos. Have you come across? Have you reached that part yet? Yeah. So actually, what I'll do, I'm going to change the setting on these. Which color? Yeah, that's the sand color, isn't it? Right. That didn't work. That's actually made it. Anyway. Actually, that's made it a bit worse, isn't it? Yeah, guys, okay. Sober, guys. Sober. What about this one? Blue? Blue good? Blue's good, yeah. Okay, blue's good. I think blue is the less flickery one. Okay, right. You're welcome, Yahya. Billy Goat, my class notes have Quranic Hadith notes. Is it okay for my feet to sometimes be above this level? Yes, as long as you don't feel you're disrespecting it. Yeah, if you feel you're disrespecting it, don't do it. What do we do if we accidentally drop the Quran? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Ustad, does Islamic scholarship run in your family? No. No one else has studied in madrasa in my family. Are you excited for World Cup? Actually, I didn't even know there's World Cup. Oh, there's a Qatar World Cup, isn't it? No, I'm not really too much into football. Assalamu alaikum randomly, ahla wa sahlan. How are you? I'm very well, thank you, my brother. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, my brother from India, ahla wa sahlan. Welcome, I hope you're well. Surah Fatiha, guide us to the path of the ones you guided. Every Muslim can die upon kufr. I think. Bro, Muhammad, are you typing with your Logitech crayon? And vice versa, one should never feel safe from it. Hence the dua of Muqallib al-Qulub. Beautiful, nice one. Except for the curd part. Why are the names of the surah in the Mus'haf written as Suratul Falaq Makkiyah instead of Suratul Falaq al-Madaniyah? Doesn't Makkiyah with Tanween give meaning of Jumla Ismiyah? I don't understand. Why are the names of surah in the written as Suratul? I don't know. Suratul Falaq is a Madani surat, so I don't understand. Are you saying that is it Makki or Madani? Is that what you're saying? What about singing happy birthday to you? Can that be considered as singing a nasheed for that person? I mean, these kind of things, if a person obviously, says these kind of things and doesn't really kind of intend by that they're trying to imitate someone, then I wouldn't see a problem with it. But if a person is deliberately trying to imitate someone, then I think people shouldn't say that. Yeah, maybe sing something else, but I wouldn't see a problem with it in and of itself. There's actually, in fact, from what I remember, there's a patent on singing the Happy Birthday tune. And I don't know, that's why they can't play on TV or something, because they'll have to pay the guy for singing it. But in and of itself, I wouldn't see a problem in singing that. My work colleague always plays music, and even when I turn it off, they turn it back on and express their need for it. I work closely to them. Can I cover my ears? Advice? Yeah, I mean, these kind of situations, don't, just don't like have the intention that you're not listening to it intentionally. It's just something in the background. Al Makiya, I mean, why is there no al? No, so Madaniya, Makkiya, that's not part of the sentence. It's part of the sentence is Hadihi Surat. Makkiya is just like, in brackets we have this was revealed in Makkah. It's got nothing to do with the tarkib. Yeah, so it's got nothing to do with tarkib. As a follow-up question, how would someone know a mail is private if they can't look at it? I mean, how do you know when two people are talking to each other it's private or not? Generally, you assume, al-majalisu bil amana, that every conversation is private. You shouldn't peek into anyone's privacy, just like you shouldn't peek into anyone's home. So if it's a mail and it's sealed, then you assume it to be private. Wait, so is it perfectly permissible to celebrate birthdays and birthday cakes? Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, nothing wrong. Would the music be taking away barakah from my work? No, it won't. Yeah, it won't, inshallah. Yeah, so deep, as long as deep inside you know it's wrong, you know it's munkar, that's fine. And as wa alaikum assalam, do you accept the appellation Ahl al-Ra'i for the Hanafi approach? I mean, I don't really kind of feel that term Ahl al-Ra'i is sort of like a split between the Muhaddithin and Ahl al-Ra'i, because Ahl al-Ra'i is found in all fuqaha. Even many Muhaddithin had an element of Ahl al-Ra'i in them. So I think this laqab, this title has been sort of like applied in a wrong way in many places. And I think it's actually become more popular in the last century for some reason. But yes, Ahl al-Ra'i, if you mean by Ahl al-Ra'i people who used more fiqh analogy and things like that, then yes. Do you speak to Smile to Jannah? No, I don't speak to him. I don't know him very well. He's come on our podcast, but that's the only time I actually spoke to him. Maryam, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. What should one do if they sajda sahu? So if you did the sahu. Okay, so Yahya is asking, is it false to believe Allah is constantly creating and uncreating at every instant? I don't know about the word uncreating, but definitely creating. Every instant, like you in your own body, your cells are being created every single millisecond. Like cells are being created, regenerated. Yeah, new cells are being created. They say, this is what science study says, in 10 years, all of your cells would have been renewed. So basically, your body 10 years ago is now a new body now. So the cells you had in your body 10 years ago have all died out. And the cells you have now are all new cells now. So they say in 10 years, the average person regenerates all the cells in their body so they don't have the same cells as before. That's just the human body. Imagine everything else. So, in the Quran, Allah says that He creates. Why not? And Salatul Tilawa. How do you pray Salatul Istikhara? Salatul Istikhara, I have a video for this. Let me give you this video to watch. So I have a video on how to do Salatul Istikhara, and then you can just watch that, inshallah. Make it easy. This Istikhara. Okay. Where is it? Right. Salat Istikhara. Here it is. Istikhara. Right. Salatul Tilawa. I've never heard of Salatul Tilawa. I don't know what that is. Is it permissible to celebrate the birth of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Are we encouraged to do anything special on his birthday? So look, I mean, I've mentioned this many times before, but I think QK, I think maybe you were then on the live stream then. So Are you happy the Prophet ﷺ was born? Obviously you are. How much happiness would you show? How much happiness would you express to show that you're happy with the Prophet ﷺ's birth? Yeah. So that's basically that's the word celebration. If you don't want to use the word celebration, if you want to rephrase your question and say, is it permissible to be happy that the Prophet ﷺ came into the world? Is it? So obviously it's fard upon every Muslim to be happy. How would you express that happiness? Would you feed the poor? Would you call people to your house and have a recitation of seerah? What would you do for that? That's it. So I think people use the word birthday and celebrate and they think well and get confused. So that's basically my answer. I joined late. Are you moving since your books? I'm reorganizing the books. Books are being reorganized, inshallah. So I'm trying to fit in space. As you can tell, this has actually become much more narrow now between here. Push these over here. I'm going to probably try to put some books in the sides. Has attained true knowledge. That's it. Ibn Sina's quote, bro. I should have it over there on top. He who says he has no knowledge truly has knowledge. The blood doesn't flow, it scatters across the cloth. Happens every day, so it's fine then. Then it wouldn't be considered. According to Abu Yusuf, it wouldn't be considered najis. What's your impression of the Darul Ulum Nadwatul Ulama? Do you recommend any other place over it? I don't know exactly everything about them, but from what I know from my friends who have studied it, I would definitely say that it's a very well-established institute. It's been there for a very long time, and the scholars are very competent, especially in Arabic language. I mean, I know for a fact from the people that I've spoken to that like you'd find it very difficult to find a place that can match up to their level of their Arabic studies. Yeah, in the Indian subcontinent. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Zed, ahlan wa sahlan, my brother. Ahlan wa sahlan. Can you tell us a bit my dream course? Yes, my brothers and sisters, I'm going to be delivering a dream course, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after, inshallah, the 12th of November in Asufa Institute, and it's also going to be streamed online as well. It's basically going to be covering how to interpret dreams, right? So it's going to be about how to interpret dreams. You're going to learn about the concept of dreams in Islam, different types of dreams, and you're going to be learning. I'm going to be showing you how, when you see certain things, how do you interpret them? So that at least you'll be more familiar with interpreting your own dreams, inshallah. So make sure you come down, Zed. Yeah, get Omer. You and Omer, you better come down. We're waiting for you too. In the Hagia Sophia, there are still paintings of women, Mary, for example. What's the ruling if they are on the ceiling? Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know. I'm sure the Turkish ulama would have given a fatwa. I don't know. I mean, is it like clearly an image? Is it clearly an image? Like you can clearly tell it's an image, or you have to look very carefully at it. Happy Birthday song is copyrighted by Warner Brothers, I think. Ah, I see. It's the first time I'm watching your stream via my iPad. This iPad auto. Yeah, I know. I had this. I remember I had the same problem when I first got my Apple, and I was like doing that kind of work and presentations on there. It would like mess up all the words, show the presentation. That funny words would come up. Shall I complete Kuduri before I move to Usul Fiqh? You can start Usul Fiqh definitely, but make sure you've done a good section of Kuduri. Then, is it true that only one sect of Islam will affect Jannah and a West secret? Are they in Islam? Secret or no? How do I know which? So basically, this hadith is a weak hadith, right? First of all, there's problems in this hadith. Of course, the only sect that's going to enter enter Jannah is the one that Allah is happy with, the one that is on the way of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Whatever way they were on, that's it. Yeah. So don't worry about which sect you belong in and all that. That part of the hadith is considered to be weak by the scholars. Learning Arabic, what approach would you take to be able to read Arabic without tashkil? Do my Quranic Arabic 17 lessons. That's what I would say. Who was Dhul Qarnayn? Dhul Qarnayn was a king who believed in Allah and he helped people around the earth. Ziad, assalamu alaikum. If a woman works for a clothes brand and makes autumn winter intern books, is her income halal? She mostly works on the text and put some photos trying to cover the maximum. Yes, it will be halal, inshallah. The outer cover is the one between women, but not the hair. Yes, I wouldn't see. Inshallah, her income will be halal. Can women, mashallah, jazakallah khair, randomly for your kind donation? Allahu Akbar, may Allah bless you. Always, mashallah, showing kindness towards my channel. May Allah give you happiness in this dunya and the akhirah for your love for my channel and the khidmah of deen. Jazakallah khair. It means a lot, guys. It means a lot when you guys support my channel, the work I'm doing. It's something which you're going to get rewarded the sadaqah jariyah in this. Does the room look better without books? Yeah, does it look like much more like empty, minimalist? Can women do sajda tilawa shukr during menses? No, they can't do sajda tilawa, but sajda shukr they can. Not sajda tilawa though. Right, next. Suleiman Khan, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahla. What are some tips you have for memorization, not just Quran, but other kitabs, sayings, hadith? Okay, what I would say is this, good question. This is how I do things. If you're going to memorize anything, then make sure that you make yourself a routine for going over it. So what you can do is you can get like these kind of like apps that will help you recall things. So for example, there's one called Anki I used to use before. Anki, Evernote. These are very good apps where you can actually take pictures of things and then it will record it for you. And you can, like, on a daily basis, bring it up, look at it, and then try to record it. So this is one method. You can use your phone, take pictures, save it as the front screen. Every time you open your screen, you have to see that thing and read it and then record it. That's one way you can memorize. Second way you can memorize is that you have stickies. So you have stickies, you write down whatever you're memorizing and you put it in places that you normally spend a lot of time of the day, and your car, or and something else, your office, and just keep reading it. Third way that you can benefit from memorization is like this. Whatever you're going to learn, you read it 10 times the first time, and then every day for 1 week, you read it 5 times, right? Just keep reading it. By the end of the week, it just sticks in your head. And then after that, once a week, just go over it. That's another method. Method is the journey path method. Yeah, so you make in your mind a path that you're familiar with, like your house, or going to the mosque, or going to work, or going to, I don't know, college or university. And then you use that path. And then on that path in your mind, you place things, right? You call it like some people call it a memory palace. You call it a memory path. And that way you can memorize things in specific sequence. Those are my 4 ways I would say to memorize. But yeah, you have to be active in you can't just memorize. You have to be active in taking that information and putting it in a place so that you can memorize it. Sheikh, have you seen the video of the 3D render of the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ and his house? I can't remember. I might have. I don't know. I've seen some images. Sajjad, ahla wa sahlan. Tomorrow, inshallah, love the setup. Yes, inshallah, Sajjad, as usual. Tomorrow, inshallah, see you there. Have you heard about Al-Bala Academy? Yes. So what exactly would be permissible forms of expressing our joy for the birth of Prophet? You tell me. I mean, anything. If you ask me, any way, as long as it's not contradicting Islam. It's not like drinking alcohol or eating pork. That's prohibited. But anyway, as long as, it's fine. Sharif, I will. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, my brother. Ahlan wa sahlan. كيف حالك؟ يعني ما رأيناك منذ زمان طويل. Secondly, would you say read Mukhtar with Quduri and have Fiqh al-Muyassar at home? Is that good enough to read alongside? Fiqh al-Muyassar would be like an easy text. Yes, you can read Fiqh al-Muyassar if you want. You actually read it. Fiqh al-Muyassar, basically, if you read Quduri, and you should be able to read 3 or 4 other texts easily with it, like without a problem, because they're almost going to be replicating each other. Dream course will be online too, inshallah, but with a Sufa Institute. So it's not going to be on my channel. It's going to be, you have to register with a Sufa Institute. Can people hang family images in their homes? I would say no. Yes, inshallah, we made intention like the tabligh will say, irada kiya, irada, liklo, bhai. Sorry, my author went crazy in my sex of Islam question. Sheikh, if a dream is tied to the leg of a dream and it becomes realized when interpreted, isn't it better not to interpret them? So this is like this whole concept of the dream being tied to the leg. This is a metaphorical. What does this actually mean? Is that when a person interprets a dream, what generally tends to happen is the effect of the way that that dream is interpreted is most likely going to affect that individual. So it doesn't mean that the dream is going to be wrongly interpreted and a wrong thing will happen. Dreams are basically just either good, right? Either they're true dreams or they're untrue dreams. If they're untrue, then that's it. You don't have to go into them. But if they're true dreams, they're simply a window into the future of what's going to happen, but in a coded way. It's basically just a code, and you kind of like have to figure out what it's indicating towards, because it's just a strange realm that we don't necessarily have the way of being able to see exactly how it is. So sometimes you might see a very clear dream, and in most cases, it's coded. Yeah. So when you tell someone and they try to decode it for you, so sometimes someone might decode it, but they might decode it in the wrong way, and it just has a negative influence. It doesn't mean that it's wrongly interpreted; it just means negative influence. Do you think practically there can be any unity between the Brahmins and the Deobandis? Think it would be a great yes, inshallah. It can be done. I think the biggest thing that needs to stop happening is, the back home baggage that needs to stop. So I've seen many, like both sides, Deobandis and Brahmins, new generations who are slowly moving away from this old, Indian subcontinent baggage. They're moving away from it and trying to, make ties and bridges. Yeah, and alhamdulillah, inshallah, this situation is going to get better, inshallah. You're always going to have extremes on both sides, unfortunately. And I don't think that's going to end. Assalamu alaikum, Sharif. Will Ahla or examine Tafsir Bahr al-Muhit? Yes. Abu Hayyan Andalusi is very good. It's more linguistic and grammar inclined, because he was a famous grammarian. So it's more for people who like grammar and stuff like that. Sheikh, is it permissible to trim upper sideburns if they are quite curly? Yes, I wouldn't see a problem. Yeah, so like over here, yeah, over here. So basically, I mean, you see where the jaw moves over here. So here's where you can start. This is where you try to maintain it, like kind of out of control. You can fix it up slightly so it looks presentable. Ziad, Jazakallah khair, sending you love from France. I love you and your channel, Ya Sheikh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Bonjour, monsieur. One day, inshallah, I'm going to come to France, my brother. Inshallah. I've actually been to France, but inshallah, properly come to France and visit the Muslims there. Inshallah. You're welcome, my brother Ziad. Okay, so Yahya had a question. Who is the scholar of the recent times who has influenced you the most? I mean, the ones who are alive or passed away, obviously my teachers, first and foremost, my teachers had a big influence on me. Then from those who have been like recently alive, I would say definitely Sheikh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghudda had a big influence on me. Mufti Taqi Uthmani to a degree, especially when it comes to Islamic economics, Islamic finance. People who also, for example, Sheikh Hamza Yusuf as well. In the early years when I started practicing, I would listen to him a lot. People like Sheikh, who else? Yeah, it's quite a few names. Maybe a lot of them maybe you haven't heard of. Yeah, but there's quite a few who I think Sheikh, Muhammad Abu Musa, Egyptian, definitely him. Okay, let's check out some more. Be good. ولو امتنعت من تسليم نفسها حتى يعطيها مهرها فلها النفقة وإعادة الاحتباس. So this is an extract from Hidayah, Bab Nafaqa. Some Muslims are confused with the last line. It seems to suggest marital rape. Yeah, I think I've sent you in Curious Cat. I sent you a link explaining that. Right, it's a very good PDF, a long PDF on this whole topic. But if you check that out, inshallah, there's the explanation there. Basically, look, the first thing we have to understand, guys, this whole concept of why is it that we have to try to align ourselves with the definitions of the West? That's the first and foremost thing. The definition of the West for nearly everything is based upon their secular understanding of life, their irreligious, godless lifestyle. That's what it is. So this is why we shouldn't just say to ourselves that whatever they say, like for example, they're not happy with the age of Aisha radiallahu anha. They're not happy with how in Islam a person can have slaves. They're not happy with when it comes to a person and a woman having to wear hijab. Yeah, they're not happy with these things, right? And they'll say, "Oh, it's against human rights and it's against this and blah blah blah, whatever." So first and foremostly, we need to understand that. Second thing, when it comes to this whole concept of what rape, what does rape actually refer to? Rape actually refers to the prohibition, even in Islam, it's prohibited for any man to force a woman and hurt her in sexual activity. If it's not his wife, then it's clearly haram because it's zina. And then if it's his own wife, it's still impermissible for him to hurt his own wife. You can't even hurt another Muslim, forget your own wife. So it doesn't make sense that when people think of the word marital rape, the way that they define marital rape is that if a man is married to a woman and he wants to have sexual intercourse with her, she doesn't want to have sexual, but she still has sexual intercourse, but she's not happy to have it. They say this is marital rape, right? And and then obviously, this is something which a lot of people nowadays, they claim, oh, I didn't want to have sexual intercourse with my husband. My husband wanted sexual intercourse with me. Did he hurt you? No, he didn't hurt me, but I didn't want it, and that's marital rape. And now he gets prosecuted for that. So this is where people are misunderstanding. In Islam, when the whole concept of marriage is to do with fulfilling sexual rights, it's that the two partners do not have to look anywhere else. That's the whole idea of this. They don't have to look for sexual satisfaction anywhere else. They fulfill it with themselves, and a man is allowed to have 4 wives as well. Obviously, the West doesn't like that. And this is the whole thing. This is where it all comes down to. Their understanding of a marriage is different from the Islamic understanding of a marriage. So it's basically that the idea is that the woman and the man, he has to fulfill the rights of the woman, and the woman has to fulfill the rights of the man. That's the whole thing. So both are aiming to fulfill each other's rights. In the West, it's no, you don't have this concept of fulfilling each other's rights. There is no idea of that. So check that article out, inshallah. Kazma Taz wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, my brother. Randomly, yeah. So that the end of the text, there's nothing in the Hidayah text that indicates that there is forced sexual intercourse. There is nothing in there. Yeah. So karhan does not mean painfully abusing, hurting. Doesn't mean that. Karhan simply means that without her consent, in the sense that she is not happy. Like karhan means she's not happy, but he doesn't hurt her in the process. He just has sexual intercourse in that sense. But if obviously he hurts her, then clearly she has the right to go to court, and she can even get a divorce from him because of that. And I think this is why people need to, learn like Arabic properly, and they need to learn fiqh properly. When they don't learn fiqh properly, and they don't know a bit of Arabic, and they try to quote Arabic texts, and they read the Arabic text, like for example, people read a bit of Arabic, and they say, "Oh, look in the Quran, Allah says, qatilul mushrikina, kill the mushriks, kill the," yeah, and that means kill so and so on these people. No, it's not. They misunderstood what this word qatilul mushrikin is actually referring to. So a lot of this is just people, unfortunately, misconstruing the whole concept of, this idea of marriage. The West has a totally different understanding of marriage than Islam does. Okay. Ameen. May Allah bless you, Manli. Ameen. You're welcome randomly. Where's your book, Mufsab? No more ilm, guys. I got no more ilm. That's it. Ilm's finished. It's being reorganized. Are people allowed to take pictures, video calls of the mate's face? Some family members take pictures. Yes, it's allowed. But I wouldn't recommend it. Generally, I wouldn't do it. The thing with the memory palace is that if you don't visit it every now and again, you forget. I memorized pi to 100 digits. Yes. Yeah, exactly. If you don't, in fact, you have to memorize. I can memorize to a certain degree, and then after that, it'll just be stuck in my head. But you're right. I mean, if you don't go over it time and time again, you just forget. Especially if it's like things that are disconnected, like just seem random or repetitive. Gets confusing. The one and only, I am doing year 3 Alima course, doing books Riyadh Salihin, Usul, Quduri. I can memorize new words, but then after a few days, I forget the vocab. Welcome to our world. Welcome to our world. What tips can you give? Okay, what I would say is start reading books outside of your normal books. Start reading other Arabic books, like story books, magazines, articles, and that way, what's going to happen is your Arabic is going to slowly develop, and the same words, your new words you're learning, are going to repeat themselves. Try that, inshallah, and you'll see after a few months, your Arabic is going to get very good. The thing people have to understand when they're studying Alimiya courses is, in Alimiya courses, they think the only books that you should go over are the ones that you're studying in the class. In fact, most of the knowledge of a scholar comes from the outside books they read, because the core madrasa books are just the ones who train you into understanding that science. But then your vast general knowledge, I would say 80% of your knowledge would actually come from, from outside reading. So start doing outside reading, 100%. But yeah, one and only, I would definitely, encourage you to read more. Oil mixing with water is easier than railway mixing unity in subcontinent. Yeah, unfortunately, some places, mashallah, you have both sides, Deobandi and Railways, who are trying to make bridges, alhamdulillah. Right? I know many who are on both sides who are trying to. I've had my dream interpreted, but the dream never occurred in real life the way it was interpreted. Is there a reason for that? It just maybe got it wrong. Like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he actually interpreted a dream wrong in the presence of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A guy came, he mentioned a dream, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, "Can I interpret it?" And the Prophet said, "Go on." So he went, interpreted it, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "You got it wrong." Yeah, so people can get mistakes. Who were the Qadariyah? Qadariyah were a sect. I mean, look, this kind of question, QK, you can Google it. I mean, I don't mean to be rude to you or in any way, but please, if you can Google a question that's easy, like it's just some facts, you can find it online. So if you just Google Qadariyah, you're gonna find a lot of information about them. Shamsun wa alaikum assalam. Does a person who has autism and mental age of a child have to wear ihram for Umrah? So their Umrah, then in that case, their Umrah is not done. Right. So if they have a child's mind, then obviously, they don't really have to do the Umrah. There won't even be like a specific hukum for these people, because they're in the mind, then they have a child's mind. They technically wouldn't have to wear ihram. Yeah, because they technically are not doing Umrah. They're just traveling there. That's all they are, like children. So if a child does an Umrah, technically he hasn't done an Umrah. But yeah, if they do go, then they don't have to wear ihram. Is the Hanafi school prevalent in Syria? How did it spread to the Arab countries? Yes, I mean, from what I understand, it's prevalent in Syria, and this is because Ottomans. So many of you guys were probably not aware that the Ottomans ruled all of this Levant. Yeah, so basically Syria, Jordan, Palestine. There's a lot of Hanafis in Palestine. Saudi Arabia, even there's many Hanafis in certain areas of Saudi Arabia. They ruled all these areas. So that's why traces of the Hanafi madhab is still found in all these places. Have you watched talks of Sheikh Tariq Suwaidan? He's done a podcast recently with YQ. Tariq Suwaidan, yes, I have. Yeah. I'm not too much of a fan of his. He's a Kuwaiti guy, isn't he? Yeah, he's a historian. Thing is, he's a historian. He's not really a kind of scholar, from what people have told me. And, he's good in his kind of facts when it comes to history, probably. But when he's talking about the deen, he's got to be careful. So he's like one of those kind of guys who becomes famous in his own field and all of a sudden starts speaking about deen and fatwas and things. Then you just got to be a bit wary about them. Medina University graduates mainly follow Hanbali school, but it seems Al-Azhar graduates seem to teach a mix of different schools of thought. Do you know why? Simply because Egypt has always been like a metropolitan for madhabs. There's always been, since early years, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, there's always been various madhahib that have been taught there. Reen Army, what's the easiest way to learn Sarf? My Sarf series, Understanding Sarf. Yeah, so check out my Sarf series. It's called Understanding Sarf. And basically, you're going to understand sarf if you watch it. So let me just try to find it for you guys. Yeah, so understanding sarf. I've done 38 videos so far. And I know I need to make some more videos on it. Sarf. Wa alaikum assalam, boxing MMA, ahlan wa sahlan. How are you? I'm very good, thank you very much, my brother. Hope you're well. Am I correct in saying that the author was not trying to argue for forceful intercourse, but was talking about a completely different masala nafqa, and the last part was simply furu? Yes, of course, that's it, exactly. To give more depth, exactly. Yeah. So this again, like I said to you, be good. The whole kind of problem is the dichotomy, is the way, the approach of the West. Unfortunately, people, Muslims, think we have to think like them. And this is where we need to understand our own usul properly strong, so that whenever we're exposed to their usul, their principles, we can always question their principles. What's your opinion on the Athari school of creed? Alhamdulillah, Athari school is a very good school. Sorry for putting the question here, and on Curious Cat, I had posted the question on Curious Cat without making an account and was in doubt whether the question was submitted or not. Yeah, so if you check, I've actually did answer it. So on some Christian website, they said the Quran says don't say 3, so you're not allowed to say the number 3. The Amr is used actually plural, so la taqulu thalatha. Yeah, la taqulu thalatha. Not say, actually, you can't say thalatha, you can say thalath. Mudhakkar. Where did all the books go? Ilm's gone. That's it. All the ilm has gone. Because I didn't kind of answer your questions properly. That's it now. All my ilm has been destroyed, has perished. My goal is to recite the sarf tables like the Twitter post you shared. Inshallah. Following this Andrew Tate stuff, feel very confused about Islam versus people's opinion due to his obsession with his view. Can women work if they can balance it with home, family duties? Yes, they can work. Yeah, but is it the ideal thing for them to go out and work? Is it the ideal? So see, what happens is, let me tell you something. When it comes to living in the West, this is a rule you always have to understand. You will never be able to practice your religion in the West like you can practice your religion in a proper Muslim country. And I'm going to say proper Muslim country. I'm using that word clearly. Because if you're living in the West, you're always going to be exposed to more sin. You're always going to be exposed to more problems, especially the West that we're living in, than in an average Muslim country. Right? You might say, "Oh, the Muslim countries are dictators and blah blah blah." This, okay, that's fine, but at least you can pray 5 times a day. At least you can hear the adhan. At least you can eat halal. At least your children will not be exposed to LGBT, shoved down their throats. At least you can have women being protected, their honors protected in the community. That's the main thing that you have to understand. And the second thing is that when we're living in the West, we always have to adjust our sort of like limits on what's ideal. So there's an ideal, so there's limits of Islam, boundaries, but then obviously the ideal is somewhere in the middle. When you're living in the West, you can't practice the ideal way of Islam. So you always have to adjust slightly just to be able to cater. So in people living in the West, a lot of families I know, husband and wife both have to work to provide for the family, to pay for the house, to be able to support, the children growing up, etc. And that's just because they can't live in the ideal way of Islam. They have to live in they have to stretch the ideal and go near the boundaries of Islam. I'm not saying they're committing sins, but they have to live in the kind of peripheral areas of Islam. And that's basically what, it's fine. So you can ask loads of questions about, or can a man do this, and can a woman do this? And you might end up saying, yes, he can do all this, but is that the ideal way? Do you want all Muslims to be able to do that? And then the result after 50 years is it going to be a good result? What's your opinion on a Zahiri madhab? Zahiri madhab, yeah, it's a madhab, but I would say it's very problematic. Yeah, it was a madhab that was held by a minority of people in the past. But like Abdul Wahhab al-Sha'rani said, that it's a madhab that will dry up the first historically, because it's very, very rigid. They recently discovered that a painting by the Dutch abstract, I heard about that, had been displayed upside down for 75 years. That is modern art, that is. That's how fuzul modern art is. Ah, look at that. Allahu Akbar. Look at this. And you don't know, there could just have been some guy who spat barn on the painting, and they just think, oh, look at that splatter of red on there. Wow, this is so amazing. Is it permissible for men to wear sterling silver rings rather than 100% pure silver rings? Is it permissible for, yes, you can, to be embedded with a gemstone rather than an aqiq? I wouldn't see a problem with that. Reen Army, Jazakallah khair, you're welcome. Share the donation link from yesterday. Oh, yeah. So if anyone can help, guys, there's a lady in Pakistan who my family knows very well. And, we're trying to collect money for her. And she's basically going to go blind if she doesn't have this urgent operation on her eyes. And, she's not married, she's elderly. And so, she doesn't really have any kids to support her or anything like that. So this is why, if anyone wants to support, then please. Where is the... Why is it not working? Okay, so the link is... Here's the link. Jazakallah khair for mentioning that. Yeah, so... Let me just pin that at the top. Wa alaikum assalam, Abdul Majid. How are you feeling, Abdul Majid? You feeling any better? Okay, I'm going to go off Instagram now. So, Instagram people, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Okay, Instagram people have gone. Hey, Saturday. Okay, so... Right. Oh, why can't you see the... Damn, I haven't been seeing your comments on the side, guys. Oh, inna lillah. Yeah, so I do apologize. Have you seen Muhammad Hijaz podcast? No, I haven't seen it. I've actually just seen it. It's made. I just saw it, but I didn't get a chance to sit down and watch it. I haven't seen Andrew. I haven't seen Muhammad Hijaz podcast with Jordan Peterson yet. So I'm a bit slow in these things. Is using fireworks celebration like wedding, etc. permissible? Yes, as long as you don't hurt anyone. Who is better, the one who hates prayer but never misses it, or the one who loves prayer? Allah knows best. I don't know. Inshallah, on the day of judgment, you can ask Allah. I mean, honestly, these kind of questions, you can't really say who is better. Only Allah will know. We, the Muslims, in any environment other than the one designated for us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will be like fish out of water. Yeah, I agree, 100%. Very important. We all as Muslims need to work today to bring proper Islamic country despite difference between Muslims. So why do scholars live in the West if we are living as Muslims with limitations? Yeah, I mean, they say, isn't it, that scholars living in the West is to provide for the Muslim Ummah education. If scholars left, Muslims can't all leave from the West. Yeah. So you just try your best, try to live as the best Muslim as you can in the West, because now it's idealistic, but it's not practical for all the Muslims to go and shift from the West to a Muslim country. Where they're going to go? How are they going to survive? How are they going to sustain themselves when they've been living here for decades? One guy displayed a banana. It won first prize. He later got hungry and ate it, and then brought another one and displayed it there. Yeah, I heard about that. And did you hear about that Banksy one, where they had that image and a guy bought it, and all of a sudden, it kind of just like all was it went through like the paper cutter. Yeah, and it was all cut into pieces. TMZ, are shuyukh such as Sheikh Asrar able to unite both groups? Allah knows best. I don't know him personally. I mean, I don't think they should be pinned on one individual. I think a lot of people should be making... I mean, look, for example, I try to do my best with answering your questions and keeping everything neutral. So I answer people who affiliate themselves to Deobandi school, to Barelvi school, to any other school, as long as, generally it is considered to be Muslim. And I think if people start doing that, people start looking beyond simple labels and look at what the needs of the Muslims are, I think then we can make a move. Another woman displayed her bed in the morning and got won first prize elsewhere. I'm not artist, and again, probably on my bed in the morning would shock it. Yeah, and I heard that she kind of like someone offered her like £70,000 for it. I can't remember. Was that the case? It was like 12, 13 years ago. Ibn Adam wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah. Remember, guys, if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Why are there so many drawings of Maulana Rumi? Did he not tell the believers? I think, see, when we kind of look at history, we think everyone in history was pious, and everyone who represented history, everyone who represented Muslims, we think they were all pious. The sad reality is that they weren't, right? So you had in history, you had your Majid Nawazis of history, you had your Mufti Abdul Rahman Mangairas of history, you had your, everyone, yeah, you had all sorts of people. So when we see history, we think the only kind of like impressions of history that we receive should all be from the most pious people, which most cases is not the case. Yeah, so that's probably the reason. What deeds are best to do for a person whose both parents have passed away? The best thing for a person to do, I would say, is sadaqah jariyah. Sadaqah jariyah would be the best thing. Like, for example, invest in something that will help the Muslim ummah and do with the intention that they get the reward for it. Yeah, like an education institute, masjid, helping the poor, anything like that. Start some sort of a project. Definitely, I would say this is something that's going to help them. If we consider forced marriage impermissible, then why is it that if a girl is forced to marry and ijab and qabul happens because she's forced, why is that considered a valid marriage? So as Muslims, so basically, there's obviously ikhtilaf amongst the scholars with regards to this whole concept of if a woman is forced in marriage, will legally her marriage be done? So this is a whole big discussion in itself. According to Hanafis, if a woman is married and she is not happy, she is doing ijab and qabul, like she's not doing it, then it's not done. That marriage is not a marriage. It's not a marriage. Yeah, end of story. But if she does do, then the marriage, even though she's done ijab, like for example, let's say, let's say in court, let's say for example in court, someone is forced to kind of sign a document in court, and they sign it in court. In the UK courts, will recognize it. They'll recognize that as a valid signature, as a valid approval or disapproval. Yeah. So if someone, does that in courts, so one is like a court, what happens in court, and one is actually what really in the sight of Allah, is it valid or not? So this is why it's not an easy black and white answer. It requires understanding how law works, how Islamic principles work. My father's name is Hamza. So should I legally change my surname to Ibn Hamza? No, you don't have to. Abdul Majid, also help your parents, families, and friends. Definitely. I like that one. That's a good way of sadaqah for your parents. Hassan, yes, wa alaikum assalam. I wanted to ask, I was curious, if Allah is not in need of our worship, why did Allah create us? So what you should do, my brother Hassan, is go to Sapiens Institute. They actually have in their articles that will answer your question, inshallah. So type in Sapiens Institute, and over there you're going to find long, detailed answers. In a nutshell, what we have to understand is Allah created us. As long as we understand that He's our creator for whatever purpose He created us for, that's what we follow. Right? Trying to make sense of the infinite using a limited mind is something that's nonsensical. That's the nutshell answer. But Sapiens Institute has longer answers. Saif Farid, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Salam. So, are you doing any classes in any masajid online in the coming weeks? No, I'm not. I'm doing a dream course at the Sufa Institute. If anyone wants to follow that, and that's going to be the 12th of November at Sufa on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Ceylon, recently found your channel through your Understanding Surf series and finding it really helpful. Thank you. May Allah reward you. Ameen. Ameen. You're welcome, Ceylon. You're welcome. Ameen. Alhamdulillah. I mean, when I see people benefiting from the videos that I make, it makes me very happy because it's something which uh, which kind of like shows me that the effort that I put into it. Obviously, I should rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala acceptance. But when you see people benefiting from it, it makes me happy. Muhammad, I read a story from Imam Ibn al-Jawzi. I assume that is Ibn al-Jawzi, but I can't remember it now. Maybe, it was about someone who was praying Taraweeh and then the Imam left and the old man behind him was asked to go. And he replied, I don't have wudu though. Oh, no, I haven't heard that one, but it sounds funny. Yeah, it sounds like one of Ibn al-Jawzi's kind of stories that he brings. If someone played a joke on a woman asking what is the capital of Afghanistan 3 times and they replied Kabul, would they be considered married? No. Do you remember something like this? Not sure if this was it. Not like this. No. I remember something. I have a bad memory when it comes to jokes and when it comes to like stories. Like when someone tells me a story, like my own personal experience stories, I can remember those. But if someone tells me a story, I 80-90% of the time I forget. I forget jokes. I forget people when they tell me stories. I have a bad memory of people telling me things and I remember that. Like I don't know why. I just have it. Like people will tell me something, especially stories and jokes, and I won't remember it. Like every time, if you tell me the second time, it'll be new to me. So I don't know. Maybe that's how some people are. Their minds are not wired to remember stories that well. But if it's my own ones, then I can remember those very well. Right, next. What books do you recommend to expand Arabic vocabulary? So storybooks. Storybooks are very important. So let me just show you a website. It's called Al Hindawi, right? Website. This has got lots of storybooks in there. Yeah, so this has loads of storybooks that you can read. Really, really good ones. So this is one of the books. Okay, so storybooks website Arabic. It's a really good one. So check these out. Try to read through them. Yeah, because it's gonna come out with a new type of Arabic for you, maybe. And it's really sort of like enjoyable when you learn Arabic and you can read stuff for yourself. So the way you tell a joke is funnier than the joke itself. Allahu Akbar, Allah. Wah. Kabat. Like when he does his Nigerian accent. Oh yeah, the Nigerian accent. Yeah, I haven't done that in a very long time. Miss those days. Sheikh, tell a jinn story. I'm about to go bed. Need so etching to help me sleep. I need something so etching. I feel like doing bad dua on your iPad, but I don't want to do bad dua on iPad because it's a new iPad, so I'm not going to do bad dua on it. But may Allah give your iPad guidance. Yeah, may Allah give your iPad guidance. The kind of spelling autocorrects they're coming out with. What kind of jinn stories can I don't know. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, today my sister was telling me that she sees something in her bedroom. Yeah, she's been seeing things in her bedroom recently, and moving around the house like a lady walking around the house. So I've got to go and do some read some ayats in the house, inshallah. Do a bit of ghost busting, yeah, in the house. So yeah, she's saying to me and that there's like some kind of apparently some lady walking around the house, and she sees when she's praying salat, she sees in the mat like drawings appearing and disappearing. I said, I don't know, maybe you're tired or something, or maybe you've eaten something that's caused that. But anyway, that's something I'm gonna have to try to sort out. Yeah, and oh yeah, and my nephew. So what happens is my nephew, after Maghrib it happens, and it usually lasts for about an hour. He starts to see things in the room that people playing with. He plays with people in the room. So it happens not every day, but it happens a few times. And when it happens, they record it and send me it. So my sister was saying that there's like when it happens, he starts to become really active after Maghrib, and he starts like talking to someone. Like he's about 3 years old, so he's just about learning how to speak, and he's like talking to someone and then getting excited and then running around and then pointing, and so that's something which I'm gonna sort that out as well. So you got loads of no books, yeah, no ilm, but be ilm, yeah, be ilm. Look at that. This guy's got be ilm. Like, you know what that means? This guy's got be ilm. He means be, like be adab. This guy's got be ilm, no ilm. So when a guy really says to you, he's got no ilm, be ilm, he means he's got loads of ilm. Acha, I'm finding tarkeeb quite hard. How can I improve on it? I just can't understand it. Yeah, what you do basically, what have you studied so far? If you do my Quranic Arabic 17 lessons, inshallah, tarkeeb will become easy for you. It's £50. Anyone wants to do it, it's £50 course, 17 lessons. I'm actually going to be adding another part to it. We'll go through the last surahs of the Quran. Yeah, so at the moment, I haven't done that yet, but inshallah, I'll be doing that. So you're going to learn tarkeeb at the end of it, inshallah. Yeah, definitely. If someone prays nafil before bed, should they make niyyah of qiyam? If you want, definitely. If you want, it's good. It's a good thing to do. She actually saw what? Yeah, that's it. Let's do well, inshallah. Yes, you're going to sleep well with a capital W. Do a live when you're ghost busting. And we're like walking around with the Ghostbusters, you know, that kind of thing that when you were kids used to watch it, you think, yeah, oh, one of those. I forgot what was it called. You know, the kind of like that device they have. Yeah, and that little box where they throw it and it opens and it sucks in the ghost. My friend told me that too, that they see some things in their home. What can I tell him? What can they do? Azan, Quran recitation. What I generally find is this, let me tell you what I find. Yeah. I find that if a person recites, manzil, it's basically a set of ayats from the Quran. It's all ayats in the Quran. If you read all of that and then you blow on some water and then you sprinkle it in various rooms on various walls, the effect goes away. I've tried it so many times and it's happened for various people and it's worked. So yeah. So that's what I would say. Play on words. Bay and Bay. Like that one, yeah. Balagha. Next level balagha. Bay adab, Bay nasib. I like that. Like Bay, Bay, you might say Bay. Like, like beloved, your loved one. So Bay adab. So when your adab becomes like your Bay, when your nasib becomes your Bay. Tasir Nahu, Maulana Muawiyah, Sarf Iman, Das Sabak, Durus. Okay, so then, I don't see how the tarkeeb shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, it all depends on how it's taught as well. So if you're teaching from the beginning with application, I think that is the best way. So definitely, I would say Quranic Arabic 17 lessons, guys. What do you call a person without a car? Bekar. Yeah. Proton pack and blaster. That's the one. Proton pack and blaster. Me and you, Abdul yeah. We'd like start a new job. We can have a new side job where on the weekend go ghost busting people's, make money, because it's like it's gonna be a big thing now, isn't it? Because like ghosts are gonna be winter, Halloween, and all that. Cross language balagha. Yeah, that's it. Cross language balagha. That's the one. Yeah, me and you. Actually, you know what? Abdul Majid, we'll get Muhammad involved. Mullah, he was supposed to be here today, but Mullah is like just like done one. Yeah, he just like comes to Birmingham, doesn't even tell us, and but we forgive him for that anyway. He's still gonna come with us, a tea for us. But Muhammad's gonna be the new third. Like I always wanted to be in Ghostbusters, the guy with the glasses. What was his name? I forgot the names. Yeah, the one with the glasses. Because scientist kind of guy. So like science. So I was like a scientist kind of guy. I'll be him. Yeah. You can Maji, you can be the guy that was always funny. Yeah, and Muhammad, you can be the other guy. Yeah. There was a good poem my teacher once posted. It was really good, mixing Urdu and Arabic grammar. We'll try and find it. A family member lent some money 30 years ago and they haven't paid the family member back. Is he supposed to pay zakat on his owed money even though he hasn't received? No, he doesn't have to. But once he receives it, he'll have to backdate all the zakat. If he believes that he's not going to receive it, then the zakat drops from it. Ivan, is it called Ivan? Ivan. Right. Which one? Yeah, let me check the names, guys. Let's see. Ghost Busters. Go names. Yeah, Egon. I was Egon, bro. Egon, yeah. I'm gonna be Egon, yeah. Maji, you can be Dr. Peter Venkman. And Muhammad, you can be Ray Stantz. Yeah. I'm gonna be Egon Spengler. I'm gonna be the scientist. Egon Spengler. Yeah. Billy Goat, you're welcome. You're welcome over there. Remember, guys, hit the like button. Everyone hit the like button. Jazakallah khair. And watch the video, spread the video, share the videos on your WhatsApp statuses, on your friends and family, make them benefit. And you send all sorts of other things. Send some good things, sadaqah jariyah things. Right. I'll get my vacuum cleaner. It's an old Dyson, proper loud. Gonna scare the whole neighborhood. That's what we want. Yeah, because before we get scared, we need to scare everyone. Yeah, even the ghosts. We need to scare the jinns. Egon, yes, Ivan was the bad guy. Yeah, Ivan, no, Ivan, not Ivan. Yeah, so Egon. I'm gonna. I always, from a young age, I always wanted to be like a scientist kind of character. Remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Remember Leonardo? Yeah, the one that used to wear the blue bandana. Yeah, I used to always want to be him, Leonardo. Yeah, because he was like a science kind of guy, and that kind of fit with my kind of mindset, mentality. I was like, yeah, I want to be him. Or should he forgive the person because the zakat will be higher than the money by the time he gets it back? No, he doesn't have to forgive him. Yeah, so if he feels as though he's not going to get the money back, even if he gets it back, the zakat drop from it. Otherwise, if, for example, let's say he's borrowed him £1,000. If 30 years has gone, so that means from £1,000, he pays 2.5% of 30. 2.5% of 1,050, which is £50. Now it's £5. Yeah. The next year, he's going to pay 2.5% of £975. And then the next year, you minus that, and then he's going to pay the zakat of 900. So he's not going to, it's not, you never ever, the zakat will never ever finish all of it unless like thousands of years goes by. Donatello. No. It's got to be Leo, man. Let me check. Teenage Mutant Turtle names. I could be wrong in this one. Donatello. The one with the stick in it. Yeah, come on, it's the one with the stick. The one that used to have the stick. Oh yeah, this. You're right. You're right, my brother. Donatello. Yeah, the purple one, Donatello. You're right. Yes, Donatello. I was wrong. Even if he forgives, must he still backdate the zakat over the years? No. So if he forgives it, then he doesn't have to take. Shredder was the OG. Nah, Shredder was evil, man. I used to hate Shredder. And I used to hate the other. What's the other kind of like pink, like blob thing? The brain. I hate that. Donatello, purple, Leo, blue, Mikey, orange, Rafa. Yes, you're a hafiz of. You are a hafiz of the media industry. we needed you the other day in game night, bro. Yeah, so that's that, guys. So anyway, Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much, everyone. Actually, we've got some questions on Curious Cat that I haven't answered. What's your favorite flavor. What's your favorite crisp flavor? All of them. You know what? You know my favorite. My favorite depends on my mood. So at the moment, right now, I'm full, so I don't really have a favorite crisp flavor. But if I did, I think it'd probably be something like, probably something like, I don't know. There's loads of flavors now on there. Paprika flavor is nice. Paprika would be very nice, or maybe even something like chives. Cheese and chives flavor is very nice. Is the report Khalid bin Walid faces 10,000 of Romans true? Okay, this story of Khalid bin Walid is actually, it's mentioned in a book by Waqidi, but I'm not sure of its authenticity. So is it permissible to go on night drives, night walks, etc. for fun? I'm a night person, but I've heard someone who hasn't studied say that we should not go outside. So this basically issue of going outside with salam. Yes, you can go out. The narration of not letting the kids out straight after sunset is not for adults. However, some scholars say that this hadith is not an Islamic ruling, rather some advice for the people of Medina at that time. Yeah, so this kind of hadith, some of the scholars, like Ibn Daqiq al-Eid, has said this is for the people of that time. So the people of that time, the Prophet ﷺ told them that don't let the kids out after Maghrib. If you are full-time working and want to learn, oh yeah, lots of questions. Yeah, so I asked, if someone can. Yeah, I asked if there's any sort of questions that you guys have with regards to studying, because I'm thinking of making a whole series on all these kind of questions you guys asked me about learning knowledge and learning Arabic and seeking knowledge and studying in madrasa and what kind of tips. So I'm thinking of maybe I'll make something like that. Right. Wa alaikum assalam. Abdul Majid, take care. Guys, make dua for Abdul Majid. So he has Shifa Kamil. Make up tomorrow, inshallah. Go for some food. I've been cooped up in bed all week. Yes, definitely, inshallah. In the evening, if my car's working, inshallah, we'll go. Definitely. So, guys, my car's still been on a bit of a messed up side. Yeah, so it's been kind of like doing random stops when trying to start it up. Sid Life, Ahla wa sallam wa alaikum salam. Mujalladain khuf, if the material on the side are thin, will this be fine to use for the khuf? So there's a difference of opinion of the Hanafis on this. Some of the Hanafis, like Mufti Taqi Usmani's father, was on the opinion that the top of the sock has to be thick. Yeah, the top of the sock has to be thick. But Mullah Hussein Ahmad Madani was on the opinion that the top can be thin, can be a very thin sock on the top, and the bottom, as long as it's leather, it's fine. So if you can make some socks, if you can maybe stitch some leather or stick some leather on the bottom of a normal sock, I wouldn't see a problem of wiping over it. Okay, guys. Oh, Maji, I'm going to go cycling tomorrow. And I wanted you to come as well. But I'm going to go with Zulfi tomorrow. And inshallah, on the bike, bro. And I'll be taking good care of the bike. Yeah, mashallah, the bike's going to be making du'as for me. The way I'm going to be riding it. Inshallah. All right, guys. So take care, inshallah, and have a wonderful, yeah, have a wonderful. I thought I was gonna show you guys a book there. Let's see, what book is this? Okay, this is a book which I recently got, Foundations of Hadith Science by Sheikh Akram Dawi. I'm going to, inshallah, when I read through this, I'll let you know my sort of feedback or what I think of it, inshallah. So it's the book is it's about 250 pages book. The hadith, it's just like a general overview of the science of usul hadith. Yeah, so it's basically, if you study usul hadith, then you don't really need to read it. And otherwise, it's good for someone who hasn't studied usul hadith just to kind of read through it. And there's like common sort of discussions that take place of the science of usul hadith. Okay, so this is the book. Inshallah, once I read through it, I'll let you guys know what my opinions are on this. And that's it. So anyway, guys, take care, inshallah. I will leave you there. Wa alaikum assalam, Masir Ali. Ahla wa sahlan. I'm very good, thank you very much. I'm very good. Just about to go, Masir Ali. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week, enjoying the America. Looks like I missed the discussion. TMNT. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's it, man. I heard they don't call it that anymore. They call it something else now. I don't know. It's weird. Say, what do you think about a textbook of hadith studies by Muhammad Hashim Kamari? It's quite good. I would say it's good for someone who wants like an intermediate understanding of the science of usul hadith between studying the beginner's usul hadith and advanced. So it's a good way of kind of getting access to. His books are generally good. I would advise reading his books. They give a lot of understanding, and he's got a very nice way of explaining like difficult things in a very easy way. He's originally Afghani scholar, but currently I think living in Malaysia. So he's got a very good way of, not just that, he's got a book on usul, principles of usul fiqh as well, principles of fiqh, and he's got some other books as well. All right, guys, take care, inshallah. I will see you guys next time. Remember your du'as. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.